Hey travelers, big changes are coming to airport security, and if you don't have the right ID, you could be denied boarding for your next domestic flight. In this video, we're talking about Real ID. What is it, when does it take effect, and how to make sure you're ready for it. Let's go.
Dream vacations start here.
So what is Real ID? Real ID is a federally mandated identification standard that strengthens security for domestic air travel and entry into certain federal facilities. It was passed in 2005, but has been delayed multiple times. However, the final deadline is now set for May 7th, 2025. After this date, if you want to fly within the U.S., your standard driver's license must be Real ID compliant, or you'll need another acceptable form of ID like a passport, a state-issued enhanced driver's license, and others which I'll have linked in the video description. How do you know if you have a Real ID? Here's how to check. Look at the top right corner of your ID. If you see a gold star, a black star, or a star inside a circle, your license is Real ID compliant. If it doesn't have one, it's time to upgrade. Here's how to do it. To get a Real ID, you'll need to visit your local DMV in person with specific documents, and I would also visit your state DMV's website to find exactly what documentation you'll need, but at a minimum, here's what documents you'll need to provide. Number 1, proof of identity. This can be your passport or birth certificate that contains your date of birth on it. Number 2, proof of social security number. This can be your actual social security card, a W-2 form, or a pay stub that contains your name and social security number on it. Number 3, 2 proofs of residency. Examples include a utility bill, bank statement, or a rental agreement in your name. Make sure the documents are original or certified copies, no photocopies, and some states will allow you to start the process online before you visit the DMV, so check your local DMV website for details. Who needs a Real ID? Not everyone needs a Real ID. If you already use a U.S. passport, passport card, or global entry card for travel, you're good to go. But if your primary ID is your driver's license and you plan to fly domestically after May 7th, 2025, you'll need a Real ID. If you show up to the airport after the deadline with a non-compliant driver's license, you will not be allowed through TSA security unless you have another acceptable ID. That means you'll miss your flight and potentially lose the cost of your ticket depending on the fare type you purchased. Will minors need to have a Real ID as well? No, anyone under 18 is not required to provide an ID to fly domestically as long as they are flying with another adult who has a valid ID or is under an airline's unaccompanied minor program. Can you use your Real ID card to cross the border into Canada or Mexico? No, a Real ID card will not allow you to enter Canada or Mexico. You'll need a passport to enter those countries. Can you use your Real ID for cruise travel? For any cruise that involves stopping at an international country, you will be required to have a passport. There are a few cruises that are called closed-loop cruises, meaning the cruise starts and ends at a U.S. port. This would be places like Alaska, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and sometimes even places like Bermuda and the Bahamas, but you want to check with the cruise line for ID requirements. If you need to upgrade your driver's license to a Real ID compliant one, don't wait until the last minute. The closer we get to the deadline, the longer the DMV wait times will be. Again, be sure to check your state's DMV's website to see if an appointment is required. And if you plan to travel internationally, consider getting a passport instead, since it works for both domestic and international flights. And that's everything you need to know about Real ID for travel. Are you ready for the deadline? Let me know in the comments if you've already upgraded or if you still need to. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more travel tips. Hope to see you again in a future video. Safe travels.